talk about it here.
The first thing that I would do is, I'm sitting here hearing the song for the first time, and on a groove level, I don't know what Fred has in mind. If he is hearing this song at halftime, or if Fred is hearing. So the first thing I would say to try to get a handle on the groove. Fred, what are you hearing? Halftime or
halftime on the verses, and then double up on the choruses, and then the diamonds at the end will just have to be a nod. We'll have to talk to each other through that.
Yeah. And just for the purists out there, this could be written a couple different ways. Fred did which actually in this particular case makes eminent sense, which is doing the one minor to one major thing. Now, from a theory standpoint, you could write that verse in the key of E flat in C minor,
yes,
where you know that would become where the verse would read 66 minor, 33 major, 22 minor, 3 sus 3, etc. So you can write it that way and then have a mod. But really, in this kind of case, it really makes more sense to do it this way. There really isn't a right or wrong. There are times when you kind of have to go, whoa, hey, let's just write another chart here real quick, and we'll write one and make a copy. If the writer's chart or you know whoever brought it in, and a lot of times there are no charts. Personally, as a session leader, I don't feel like I'm doing a good job if I haven't made arrangements to get the songs in advance and write the charts before the session. To me, it's a colossal waste of time and kind of disrespectful of the whole process to not have the charts prepared. And Fred obviously agrees because he said, "You want a chart?" I said, "Sure."
And also the reason I wrote it this way as a one minor is because the chorus would look like, if it was an E flat, the chorus would look like 6. You know, so
right.
now you're thinking a whole other way, where I want the musicians to think of C more than E flat.
Absolutely. Yeah. And then another rhythmically, my next question, now that Fred has told me what he wants on the verse and the chorus, my next question would be, do you hear us all coming in at the top? Do you want us to do this?
It needs to be, we need to be started. You and I and Dave need to be started. They fall in.
Gotcha.
And then the solo, I was hearing guitar on the first 6 bars, and you come in on the 6 bars, you come in on the end of his 6th bar to those 4 one minor.
The sad part.
The sad part. Is that too hack, or should we go the other way?
No, I like that. I like that.
Should we zig?
No, I always follow Tom. So then I always have to ask, first of all, how country or not do you want this to be for me?
Not.
Not, okay, completely not. Do you want it Latin at all? Southwest? Something like that?
A hint, yeah, I think it's, because you got the A major 7, A flat major 7 coming up and at the end of the song, and to not play that way would mean that would come out of nowhere.
Since this is a demo, who are you planning on wanting to pitch this to, ideally?
Well, we may replace the fiddle with chromatic harp for its other pitches, right? So we'll have
Or
fiddle
play it
here.
more like a violin and less like a fiddle.
There you go.
Well, let's just say, for the fact that you did hire me to play fiddle, and you were planning to use fiddle, that was your purpose. Do you want it to move in any particular influence?
You're here for this pitches here in town, but I'm also going to make sure that the engineer knows that he needs to be isolated so there's no bleed on any other instruments, so I can do my other overdubs with other instruments, even accordion if I wanted to, because actually...
Okay, so for your pitches here in town, who would those names be?
Anyone.
This is Kenny Chesney getting arty.
Yeah.
Okay, well that's the answer I'm looking for. Kenny Chesney.
And sometimes the songwriter, that could be a publisher response. You know, publisher's thinking Kenny Chesney, and the artist, the songwriter's thinking, Ray Wiley Huff.
Right, but as opposed to approaching any song with, that kind of thing, that's not going to fit.
Yeah, we have a nickel for every time that you've done that, so I wouldn't have a nickel.
So the point is, to help it center in for what I need to do for you, I need to ask you, what would you like it to be when it's done?
Really, really John Yudkin. Here's the other thing. I wouldn't book a demo session now unless it was limited pressing scale, because I may want to put this out on Reverb Nation for sale, and I don't want there to be any problems going down the road later on.
And that's in that little handout, you see the difference. Demos are strictly intended for, that's where the word came from, demonstration purposes.
Yeah.
And a limited pressing record, it's about $40 more per player for 3 hours, and you have a lot more flexibility as to what you can do.
Yeah.
Tom, what are you thinking about? Where we're having lunch, or I was thinking about that.
Yeah, I'm thinking about getting a drink.
But I mean, sometimes you know, like
But are you wanting me on the top? Is that what you're saying? Electric?
No, I think it's just the rhythm section of, and me, and then kind of
And then we also
slowly.
have to figure out who fills where, and,
We can do eye contact for that.
well, I'll be listening to you.
I'll watch
It's
you.
kind of between you and I as to who's going to take which verse and which not, because we're the two soloists.
And you might say, Fred might say, hey, and by the way, we're gonna, accordion player's coming in at 2, so leave a little space, if you can. But at the moment, we don't have one. So, and for me, what I'm thinking is there's a little Latin aspect to it. I want to have a nice round tone and kind of match what's going on between the guitar and the drums. And so I'm going to kind of hint at that Latin thing to some degree, but there's also, I hear a little Fleetwood Mac in this as well. And of course, all these things that we all grew up playing are now all part of country music. So, I mean, it's all there now. So let's...
Actually, it's AC/DC light.
Exactly. Fiddle pop. So anyway, so this will be the rundown. This will be our rundown.
Nobody knows just all from that. Where the warm winds blow, where I hang my head. When the days are long, the nights are long, and the coast is clear. Just out of reach, while I get here. Take stars to play, night and it's on and on. I'm drifting away. Thing a little bit, and that was cool. If we could yank the tempo back just a skosh, and then but keep that energy, but just it's a little bit quick on the vocal.
And as a session leader, I might throw in. I mean, and one of the cool things about the way this stuff is supposed to work, anybody can throw an idea out there. You do have to learn to pick your spots. But what I would do, because what felt strange to me was the solo maybe wanting to stay up. So I would make a suggestion, say, hey Fred, what if at the end of the first chorus, we do a little break on bar 20, the last bar of the chorus. We do, you know, da, 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 I like it here, da, 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 ba, solo. And then keep the solo in the double time feel and not pull it back down until the vocal comes back in.
Awesome.
So that's just something, and you know, you get these little messages and you go, let's say something to us, you know. And you do have to learn, and I certainly got fired a couple of times for one too many ideas or questions. But, you know, in the end, I'd rather feel like I gave 110% rather than 90, you know? And if they're going to fire me for that, well then...
And my question for your question about bar 20 is it a whole note? Or
no, I think a dead stop that where maybe Tom can give us a little flamenco-esque pick up into that solo. So what we'll do is, okay, so we only got like another 3 minutes to cut this, so let's take it, let's take the second half of the first chorus. So starting on a dead stop on the bar before the solo.
It's a dead stop.
And a dead stop, which I would write with a triangle as opposed to a diamond.
That full line.
Ringing.
You want the 4 bars before the dead stop? Is that what you're talking about?
Well, let's take it from the third line of the chorus, the 11:22, and then we'll do that dead stop and keep it in double time until we get to the verse. To see it, and I'm running this by the writer to see if he likes my idea. If he doesn't, my feelings will not be hurt. Okay. So, yeah, here.
1, 2, 3, yeah.
Doesn't know my story. She only knows my name. Not worried if I leave, and not worried if I stay. Oh, I like it here. Oh, I like it should we stay up after we're in? I'll pick it up on the
Just do the first half.
Yeah, that could be. I like that.
Yeah.
Because it's a short song.
It's a short song.
Okay.
I mean, not in here, but out there.
Right. No, that's a good point. And it felt like there was a little confusion at the end of the turnaround, or if you just want to float around him, or if you're going to
Well, we just decided that. He decided to come in on the 1-liners going out of it. I'll take it up.
Gotcha. So you take 6 bars, he takes 6. And that would just be another little session leader cleanup thing.
Yeah.
Like, hey guys, we're going to cut this song and still get the lunch, right?
Yeah, the 4 bars of the 11, the 1-liner is where it just kind of settles down a little bit.
Yeah,
Get back
and
in.
dynamically kind of relax.
It turns to night, and the night, you know.
Yeah.
He gonna get it some.
So now that we've talked about it, as Jack Clement says, it only takes 3 minutes to cut a hit record. So that's what we're fixing to do here.
Oh, yeah. There you go. Quiet little place and nobody knows just all the man. Where the warm winds blow, where I hang my head. And the days are long, the nights are longer, the coast is clear. I'm just out of reach, oh, I like it here. Music starts to play, the leader starts to dance. A million miles away to lay the secrets of my past. Goes untold, just buried in the sand. They don't know where I come from, they don't care who I am. Oh, I like it here. Oh, I like it here. like it is. Music starts to fade, the night lives on and on. Drift away to sleep with Lolita in my arms. She doesn't know my story, she only knows my name. Not worried if I leave and not worried if I stay. Oh, I like it here. Oh, I like it here. Quiet little place and nobody knows it's off the line. Well, the coast is clear. I like it here. I can disappear. Oh, I like it here.
That's pretty much what happens on a tracking session. Now, if that was the take, I'd go, you know, give me that first chorus again, because I found something halfway through the first chorus that really made the part work. Just humor me, if you will, for a sec. Play a chorus once. Let me just show you the difference in two different ways to play this.
Of course, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3.
Stars to fade, night lives on and on. Drift away to sleep with Lolita in my arms.
Okay, so now that was kind of what I was doing, where I was only varying a little bit from the verse, but I realized that there's kind of a scene change going on, and so I want to emphasize the arpeggios a little more. So play it one more time, and I'll just very subtle difference. It's probably only 2 bass.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3.
Stars to fade, night lives on and on. I drift away to sleep with Lolita in my arms. She doesn't know my story, doesn't know my name. Not worried if I leave, and not worried if I stay.
Just something to give it a little more motion, and you know, sometimes
That'd be cool.
it's great when everybody gets it at once, but you have to kind of sometimes, part of it, I guess, is that policing your area thing of like, is it okay, or am I just wanting to fool around on somebody else's dime, or is this really going to help the song? And you kind of have to debate all that yourself, because if you start debating it with everybody else, they're going to call somebody else next time.
Yeah, and I would say this about this song. This is not the kind of song that you would do last. This would be something I would do second, probably. Wait till the phones are right, and I would not have a bunch of beaters in there and blasters. I would not have a lot of one-trick ponies. They would have people like this to do this, because there's some sophistication here, and it's the kind of thing that, you know, moving, arpeggiating the bass line is something that's, you know, it's like it adds that mariachi, south of the border thing to it a little bit, which you want, but you don't want too much of it. And then what he just played on the slide.
I'd also probably have a gut string guitar with me.
And then,
some of those ideas.
if this was a master, we would go probably one at a time. On a demo session, you know, Tom would say to Fred, do you mind if I put a gut string on? And I would ask, do you mind, Fred, can I try some shakers from the beginning?
At the same time.
And then we'd say to the engineer, Tom and I are going to go at the same time, and just the same time.
Yeah, because, you know, nowadays people have gotten used to that layered sound, and, you know, the guitar players are usually the ones in the barrel, you know, as we're all heading, oh, yeah, see you at El Taco, and then the guitar player is still working on the solo. But that's, you know, so you want to play guitar. It's a tough gig, you know. But anyway, thank you guys so much for being here. I really appreciate it. And any potential union members out there, come by and see us anytime.
And seriously, we got to do part 2 of this, so stay tuned for part 2.